Good day, everyone. So we're back here. We're back in the space. Today, we are going to be looking at more than just one spheres on the network. We're going to be looking at innovation, how innovation has taken the fold of artificial intelligence. Now, everybody has an understanding that artificial intelligence is already here. We are using it. We have to embrace it. But in today's session, we'll look at two following things: digital transformation in education. I'm going to be looking at some neat ways. I went to a conference just the other day and sat in a room with educators, looking at different ways that we could be able to empower our younger generation to take the necessary ways of understanding computer science. A neat way was provided, and it's not something new. They have been doing it for years, and they showcased how we could be able to use it in our classroom. So I'll be discussing that platform in terms of what it is, not in its entirety, because I reached out to the organizers who I know, but I've not gotten a consensual response to speak openly on the information. So I'll just show based on my lens when I actually attended. And then I'll be deep diving in some other ways that I've experienced the week before, at a conference at my institution, where we looked at the demystifying use and knowledge of AI. What I'm going to be showing are some key points that stand out to me. My views, not anyone else. You can look at it. Also, robotics. What does that mean to you? Humanoids. For the last 2 weeks or so, I've been following a lot of articles and researches as it relates to the different aspects that humanoids or robots are being integrated and have been integrated already. So sit back, relax. This is Suzette Morrison Curtis. I am your host for today's session, Teacher Chronicles, where we will be looking at AI innovation and how it is going to be breaking new frontiers. So sit back, relax, and do follow us on all socials. I do know that persons have watched my last podcast, but this one here is one to see. So I'm going to be sharing in a few. Let me just queue up my thing now. Give me a second. Oh, wow. So how have we been? I hope everybody's been good. Let's close out some of these windows. And yeah. All right, so let's go. Here am I. Trying to find my way around this screen is not. Here am I. It's being good audio. Share. All right, so this is me. Let's go back to the first one. So this is what we'll be looking at today. Innovation of AI technology and technology breaking frontiers. So this is me. This is what we'll be looking at. But yes, last week's podcast, we looked at Cayman connection, tapping into the Cayman connection, and I enjoyed that. It was my first time having my friend online, and we enjoyed ourselves. If you have not yet subscribed or want to watch that, we'll leave that link at the bottom of the screen so you can be able to watch it at any time possible. But let's deep dive into what we're going to be doing today. So, as I said to you, Macmillan Education. I don't know if you can see my screen very well, but I'm going to show you. I got this neat bag right from there. And in the neat bag, you got a lot of goodies. One of them was the booklet that showed you all the things. I'll be showing this back at the end of the presentation so you can see it. But this conference, it was a digital conference which speaks to empowering future-ready Jamaican young learners through digital literacy. That's what their main topic, right? And they looked at transforming learning through digital education and playful pedagogy, where play meets purpose. That's me. That's my lens. I'm doing this in my lens. Macmillan Education, Digital Schoolhouse, and Kingston Bookshop were the entitled sponsors. And some of the keynote presentators was Chanel Saeed. I hope I did not terrify her or break her name. And along with her is Estelle Ashman. I'll try to look for their handles and leave it on screen for you. But I met them, and they were very beautiful soul persons, very, very, very passionate about how things are in the learning capacity of computer science and the different ways that we can do it. So in my lens, I'm just going to break down some things that we spoke on. So what is playful pedagogy? I just looked it up because I didn't know. And in introspect, it's basically how a child-centered approach to how you can be able to put your learning materials to students so they can be able to explore and pique their curiosity with joy. Children can learn best when they explore freely and discover concepts through hands-on play. So if you have ever used this in any way, you can let me know. So if you ever used it, let me know. Leave something in the chat. All right, so we looked at also how it basically builds their intrinsic motivation and they're eager to learn and grow. So play-based was one of the other things. Learn through playing, transforming our education into joyful discovery. We looked at that, and it looks at hands-on social skills, creativity, in terms of how students can be able to solve problems, think critically through imaginative activities. Now, guys, you look at this now. Remember now, back in the days before AI came about, this was what people wanted to do. This is how people wanted to see things go. Students using their minds to be able to do things. So I like where they were going with it. Truly, I liked it. So what else they did? They looked at gamification, and we played a little game or a little, what do we call it now, dance-a-thon inside this the conference where we use Mario, and to be able to break down how we looked at programming ones and twos, right? And trust me, it was interesting. It was interesting, and they showed me how I could be able to use my students to learn simple things, complex things, using simple movements to break down how these things are, how computer reads information in bits. So basically, gamification in education looks at transforming learning into an exciting adventure with game mechanics. Gamification motivates students through rewards, challenges, right? And you can use points on rewards in terms of system progress tracking. And I'll show you a little video we did with Microbits, was one of that platform that they use. and it challenged us to go through the material together in a group, right? So we looked at those. We looked at game-based learning again. We looked at how it can transform education into adventure through how we teach information. So using educational video games and simulations, try role-playing and scenario-based activities. These are some of the things that you could use. Create digital escape rooms and puzzles, right? So if you have something that you think you want your students to be learning, but you don't know how to do it, try gamification. Try game-based learning. And at Macmillan, they actually put down some neat things in their books, and it starts from grade 1 to grade 9, right? So transforming your classroom starts from playful journeys today and make learning adventures for your students, so they will never forget that one day that they went to class. So as I was saying, this is me, this is my lens, this is my little thing that I took. So Estelle is on the side right there, you see right here, that's Estelle. Not Estelle, that's Saeed. Saeed. Miss Saeed. This is Estelle, right? Charming young lady. We basically were huddled in a room right there. It actually was hosted at the ROK Hotel in Kingston. And right there on screen, you're seeing how gamification or play are the same. They ask that question. So on screen, you're seeing play-based learning, game-based learning, and gamification. And they ask a question. They're not the same. They're different, right? So based on what you're seeing here was some of the notes that I took in terms of what areas I wanted to look into. As I said to you, I couldn't go in depth. This is the microbit. So look at what they were doing. So you logged into the platform called Microbit. Right? And I hope you can hear. And then when you go in, they give you a login credentials, and then you pop in, and then you have the Microbits. Microbits is at the side right there, and it basically shows you how you could be able to log in and move around using a microchip. It was very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's get started. So now how AI technology is spearing through transforming technology in the world. Now, guys, sit back and relax now, because I'm going to play this video. Then I'm going to tell you who these persons are. AI for Youth is their flagship product, where I wouldn't say product, but program training for youths. AI Hold is the actual organization. I just put AI Hold Story, AI for Youth. Listen to what they did at this institution.
I really love this quote, and it's from Stephen Hawking. The future is the race between the growing power of technology and the wisdom with which we use it.
My name is Cass Maxwell. I'm the CEO and co-founder of AI Owl. Our ethos is to help society adopt emerging technology faster. The Ridgewood story itself, to me, I grew up in Appalachia, so if I'm going to tell the story of what's happening over there, it's first going to start with a community that's not traditionally known for tech. When you think about Appalachia, you think blue collar, you think hardworking, coal mine, whereas this is, flipping that on its head. We have 7 girls who are in high school infusing tech and solving a real problem on a community level.
Hi, my name is Addison Lalmers, and I'm a senior at Ridgewood High School.
Hi, my name is Sophia Gluck, and I'm a senior at Ridgewood High School.
My name is Kenzie Bice, and I'm a senior at Ridgewood High School.
Reading Reimagined is our idea to help the younger kids get off of reading improvement plans, which over COVID, a lot of students got on reading improvement plans because they fell behind in their reading.
So we came up with the idea after learning about 40% of 4th graders in our school district are reading below grade level. And so that was a problem we saw in our own district, and we decided to make a change and do something about it.
It's important for AI Owl to invest in these communities because traditionally these communities don't have whether it's the budget, whether it's the teaching force to be able to bring these cutting edge technologies into these communities. And so as we look at AI, we understand that it's really the great equalizer. We can take someone in a less affluent area, tool them with AI, have them use it as a thought partner, and they can compete with these schools with the bigger budgets.
Hi, my name's Spencer Feig, and I'm the Director of Development at AI Owl. I would say from the first day I came in, I saw how the students, they got along so well. The group of girls in this class, from the moment I stepped in the room, it was like we're all friends here, and we're striving toward this one common goal, which is to build this new tool in AI.
Reading Reimagined will be very helpful because it breaks down the reading process. On one of the things, we have a phonetic breakdown level. So a child can take a word that they're having trouble with, and they can type it into the box, and it will break down the word and use the phonetic sounds and this thing we call scooping, which breaks down each syllable for the kid to learn.
On the first day, I didn't really know what to expect because my strong suit definitely isn't like math, social media, like all that AI stuff. It's not really my strong suit, so I was really nervous, honestly.
My name is Autumn Joyce, and I'm a senior at Ridgewood High School. My favorite part about this class and the whole process was definitely everyone putting out their ideas and seeing our shared vision take shape.
Hello, I'm Lester McCurdy, a teacher at Ridgewood High School. Connecting the class with the students was just a matter of, I had to learn it, be able to teach it, and I actually literally told the girls on the first day that I'm going to learn this with you. In some cases, when we dive into the actual AIs and stuff along those lines, that it's going to be a learning process for them and me, and we're going to make mistakes, but we're going to learn from it and grow together.
Wow. Can you imagine?
My name is Kira Schrock, and I'm a senior at Ridgewood High School. The most challenging part is the group we have is a bunch of really strong, I think independent girls, and we all wanted leadership roles. So I think that was the most challenging part, accepting that we all could have our own rules and not be in charge. My favorite part was also being with a bunch of independent, strong girls that wanted to do something, and we took an issue and created it into something that can actually be solved through AI.
Hi, my name is Sophie Pa, and I'm a senior at Ridgewood High School. AI can seem scary, but just like anything can be bad. To be scared of what is unknown about AI, when you do research and you use it for good, it's a really helpful tool to learn anything.
When schools think of AI, I think the first thing we go to is cheating, right? The student is going to use it to cheat, to write the papers. These programs are showing that it's much more than that.
I don't think AI is taking over because I think if it's used correctly, people will be able to build off the creativity with AI. I think in general it's a tool. I don't think it's a replacement.
The students are interacting with someone
they're able to brainstorm
or something that is much more powerful and smarter, and so they can use that to fill that skills gap and level themselves up.
I'm very excited about the project they're working on. It's turned into a full platform where a third grade student can go in and create a full story using their vocab list.
What surprised me most was how serious it actually was. On the first day, we made jokes that we were just there to make AI cats.
We've said this whole time that we're kind of like the underdogs. We're 7 female students from a rural area in a small town, Ohio. So I feel like that's something that really sets us apart from other candidates.
Previously, before taking the class, I was not a big fan of AI. So taking the class made me realize that it's actually a tool, not a replacement for things in people's lives.
What I would tell my past self about this class is just to do it. Don't be scared and just have fun with it.
Words of advice for the younger generation that might want to take this class is to not hold back. You can do a lot of things with it. You can do so much more than you actually think you can.
I would say to be as involved as you can because there's so much happening all at once, especially if you're working with a group, and there's so much to learn from it. As soon as you start to not be as involved, you don't really know what's going on.
When you know more, you can do more, right? And so I think this shows that when these students are using AI and they have someone there beside them that they can once again knock down these technical roadblocks or brainstorm with to understand, how do I get to the next horizon? I think it shows educators that we can now step it up. We can demand more out of our students. We can update our curriculum to help these people fly at a higher level than what they already are. So I think that it's definitely shaking up the educational ecosystem.
Yes.
But I think long term we're going to see better graduation rates. We're going to see people to be able to achieve more and do more with this new technology.
7 girls. And that's the AI Youth program. AI for Youth, where they transform regular students through training, and now you're able to take the information and transform a problem and be able to create a solution. Mind you, they were in Jamaica the other day, as I said to you, at my institution. They actually were at our conference, and I got a top of what this program is about, and I'm very excited about the engagement in terms of what is going to happen in the Caribbean. So you'll hear more about this program throughout as it evolves. But I'm just telling you, this is just one way AI can be used in a beneficial way. So we're back to our presentation. We're still there. I'm still with you. So that was AI Old Story. And I pivoted to a next one. Now this is very fascinating. Very fascinating. When I sat in the room where I was listening, I was talking to one of my colleagues at work, and they're not really understanding what AI can do for even their daughter. I was explaining some thoughts to her. And one thing came up when she said, one of the things that I never knew, Suzette, is that, AI can use at the zoo. I never knew it could use at the zoo. And I said, all right, AI is everywhere. It can be used to do everything. So listen to what happened in a zoo.
I'm gonna take extra just in case. Come on, good girl, come here. The coolest thing ever is when you call an animal this large by their name and they come to you.
My name is Mindy Scott. I am a zookeeper 4 and elephant care professional at the Columbus Zoo.
All right, this foot.
We do what are called well-being assessments on each and every elephant in our herd.
Good girl.
Everything we observe, whether it's during the day while we're here, those overnight camera watches, everything plays into their well-being. When we fill out these forms, we look at each category and we give them a score, so it's very empirical.
See that?
Now we can start talking about the Columbus Zoo project a little bit. So basically, me and Gabby are working really hard on the Primalytics software, which what it does is takes zoo footage and uses AI to analyze it.
My name is Cass Maxwell. I'm the co-founder and CEO of AI Owl. We focus on upskilling the workforce with artificial intelligence.
Organized.
And so our goal is to take all of that into these type of communities like Appalachia, like urban areas, and make sure that it's not just the rich suburbs that get it, but everybody gets it.
See?
A lot of people go to a zoo, they think of no way AI could possibly be used at a zoo.
Hey, lady.
They basically told us that their zookeepers are constantly bouncing around.
Yeah, Johnson is secure.
Trying to watch the animals, fill out all of these charts, and they just can't be everywhere all the time.
Imagine that.
And I think that's the beauty of solving these problems with AI. You have to interact with the world in order to solve the problems in it.
This AI technology is going to allow us to be able to collect more data points
and then spit out that data in a very consumable way.
See?
So the zookeepers can then analyze, be proactive.
I'm gonna get some treats ready.
and allow them to do more of what they do best, which is care for the animals.
Good boy.
So therefore, they created the software so they can be able to monitor the actual
The scale of this project is
and
big.
like their hands low, they can be able to care for the
Not only does it help out Columbus Zoo, but also helps out all institutions that care for animals around the world.
Hey, bud. Good boy.
Yeah. Guys, it was one of those days that when I looked at it, I said, wow, this is where AI is at now. Wow. Imagine that. In our zookeeping in Jamaica, can we think about looking at getting one of these software as our analytics being done at the zoo? If you need to learn more, contact me. All right, so as we go through our next little bit, this part is very dear to my soul. Hope to God I can be able to show his stuff. So now, Ted St. John, I met him as well, is a founder of Hopetown AI and a leading advocate, like myself, of using artificial intelligence to reduce administrative burdens in behavioral health and recovery support organization. Guys, imagine our Bellevue community or mental health centers can be able to adapt this. They can be able to look at how AI can be able to integrate to make different things happen, right? His work focuses on using AI for documentation, like AI scribing, so staff can spend more time focusing on human connection and care. So the things that they normally do in their everyday work, now they can be able to do it better because now the AI has been integrated. So let me see if I can show where he comes from, and then probably a picture from what it is. But this is him. I was looking for some other stuff, but I couldn't find it. But he's heavily infiltrated on Instagram. You can follow him.
Every hour you spend with a client costs you 2 hours with your cursor.
See?
The Annals of Internal Medicine found clinicians spend up to 2 hours on documentation.
Imagine that.
For every 1 hour of direct care.
Wow.
I'm Ted St. John from Hopetown AI, and I use AI to remove the busy work so people can focus on what actually matters, people. Those extra hours aren't just numbers on a timesheet. They're the difference between finishing your progress notes or finishing a real conversation with someone who finally opened up. AI scribing tools can cut note-taking time in half. That means your brain stays in the session instead of replaying it later at 8 p.m. while you're still typing. When paperwork shrinks, staff show up fresher, listen longer, and catch details that change outcomes. AI isn't the intervention, presence is. AI just buys the minutes that presence needs.
Yeah.
Start with one process. Like and subscribe to keep learning how AI in the recovery space can benefit you and the people you serve.
Imagine that, guys. I had a good conversation with him because he shares the same advocate I do in terms of getting AI to be integrated in any form of process and persons be able to benefit from it in a good way. Wow. It was a very good session with him. We spoke for like about a length, 45 minutes, just talking about it. And I went online and I found out a lot I could on him. I wanted to get him on so he could be able to speak, but at the time he just traveled back from Jamaica. So I hope to get him before this that we close off our second version of Teacher Chronicles. So sit back and relax now, because artificial intelligence is what we're going to be talking about. Now, as you see on screen, it's robots. I've been deep diving in how robots have been used now in the sector. And trust me, it is like you're there, you're not there. You want to try and see how things are, but sometimes you're wondering if you adapt to this, it will take what you have. But knowledge is key, guys. Knowledge is very key. So I did some small research, not big. I'm not the big researcher like everyone else is out there. I'm just curious about what it is that can be used to how robots is used in the different aspects. So let's see. Let's just see. So, what insights do we have about robots, guys, and their potential to influence our everyday lives? Understanding this technology is essential to everyone, and it poses a revolutionize how we work, live, and interact. So now we're going to start this presentation right here. So, robotic technology, the way we do things. First up, Professor Brent Anders is no stranger to the world of AI. He's a professor from Armenia. He's one of my mentors on AI technology as it relates to education. He taught me most of what I learned about literacy education as it relates to AI. So listen to what he has to say about humanoids. Robots will help teach the next generation. Look at what he said.
We need to talk about robots. There's been so much development dealing with humanoid robots that we need to discuss this because there's implications for society as well as for education specifically. So back right before the beginning of the new year, before the beginning of 2025, I made some predictions as far as what we can expect for this year, for 2025. And one of the big things that I mentioned is that this is going to be the year of the robot. And that has lots of different things associated with it because there's going to be this development, and eventually it's going to be that we can purchase a robot, and that robots will be part of our everyday lives, and they'll be integrated into things that we do at work, things that we do at home. So I want to make sure that we talk about it because, yeah, AI and robots have been continuing to develop and enhance in many different ways. So I'm going to talk about some enhancements and developments with AI-infused robots. I'm going to talk about that first, and then I'll talk about educational aspects. The first thing that I want to talk about is how the capabilities of movement for these robots have been increasing at a tremendous rate. We see different types of robots that can do all sorts of different movements. Some of them are really interesting and capable and will enhance its ability to do work, its ability to work in the house. And then, of course, we see all sorts of different developments with the robot as far as its ability to do things that are just phenomenal and beyond what most humans can even do. So that's really powerful as far as how quickly this is developing.
Side flipping.
Now, I say that, but I also want to take a step back because a robot that can do a backflip, great, but that isn't necessarily helpful for a job or to help me in the house, right? So we have to keep that in mind as well. What can the robot actually do autonomously? And that's a big thing here, autonomously. Because many of the demonstrations that we see, many of the different videos that are out there is a robot that's being teleoperated. That's a huge difference. Teleoperation just means that, hey, I could be wearing maybe a virtual headset so I can see what the robot is doing. And then I'm using special gloves or special controls. So now I'm actually controlling the robot. Now, that's not to take anything away because that is very powerful in itself. Being able to do teleoperations is a whole new field, and that opens up a lot of possibilities for things like, here's an actual job description that talks about wanting someone to teleoperate a robot. You can be anywhere in the world. You teleoperate this robot, and it's a robot that's in hospitals that helps to comfort young children to make them feel better about whatever they're going through, the reasons why they're at the hospital. It's just an interactive type of robot that can make the child happy, that can play games with the child, that can ease the child's worry and anxiety. So that's really powerful in itself as far as, hey, we could teleoperate and do this thing. In the same way, we could teleoperate a robot to help with instruction. I mean, if I'm a specialist in a certain field, I could have a robot on the other side of the world and I can be operating that robot. I can be in that classroom and offer that instruction through the robot. as if I'm the robot. So that's really powerful. There's also huge industries such as healthcare, helping to care for the elderly, all sorts of possibilities that teleoperation really opens up. So that's really important. And the other aspect of that, sort of the flipped coin to that, is that that's also going to help with the training of the robot, because the teleoperation, the robot can be learning from that, the AI can be learning from that, so that now it can learn from all of the teleoperation, the virtual movements of it, and then now it can be trained to actually do it. So now the robot will be able to do that in the future. So that's going to be the next phase. So it's learning from the teleoperation, and then it'll be able to do that into the future. So these are huge, massive leaps that are happening with the robot. Again, many different companies that are out there, many American companies that are fighting for number one. And it's not just America, because now we're competing against lots of Chinese companies, many different companies out there.
I'm going to show you
of course, Unitree is a big one, but there's more that are developing that can do so much more. It's going to be a big price war. Now, I have my hopes for an American company. I think the Optimus robot from Tesla is going to be really powerful, really capable, all sorts of dexterity, all sorts of capabilities. We'll see. By the end of this year, it's supposed to be when it gets launched, at least initially. So there's going to be a lot going on. We need to keep our eyes open. Why is this so important? This is so important because there is a lot of application for this within education. There's lots of ways that, hey, if we have this very capable robot that's a humanoid robot, it can do lots of things in the classroom to help us. And there's research to back this up as far as, yes, this is effective, this helps in different ways. So yes, there is some good reasons to think about implementing this in the classroom. Of course, more research is needed as we continue to develop these more advanced robots, but yeah, this is something to really think about, really consider. I'm excited for this possible future where we could have humanoid robots in the classroom. So I want to go over a few different ways that, hey, these robots could really enhance the classroom in some way. So I'm going to go over these and we'll just discuss as we go along. The first idea is using a robot as a teaching assistant, meaning that the robot could actually help us teach different classes. There's lots of possibilities with this, in that we could teach the class, we could have the robot teach the class, and we observe. We could break the class up into different groups. So I'll teach one group this, they'll learn another thing from this other group that the robot will be teaching them. We could have all sorts of things where we have workshops, where we have different stations, and the students go to different stations, and one of those could be with the robot, one of those could be with me, one of those could be self-directed learning, one of those could be peer evaluation, all sorts of possibilities with different pedagogies that now we can access and we could do if we have a humanoid robot to assist us in those ways. Lots of possibilities here. Another great one is as a personalized tutor. The student would have their own robot. This could really be personalized to that individual student. This could take
some that I probably would end with, but there's some things else that I want to mention before we go there. Now, this is from Euronews. Their channel, I went on and got this information. So listen to what is happening in Germany. Taking a little.
Awesome. Well, it's nice to meet you all. Then, I'm standing here right now in front of you.
Do you think you know everything?
I can answer factual questions or generate text based on what I've learned. Can you think of why they might want to do this?
This is an actual humanoid robot. It's not yet finished mostly.
I'm standing here right now in front of you.
A classroom that they tested in terms of teaching them how to use it. So it's, as I said to you guys, these things are happening. We just need to be aware of it, right? So as I progressed in looking at this stuff, I looked at different ways how robotics can be used. And one of them piqued me the other day when I went online and I looked at hospitality industry. I was on Instagram trying to find some information, trying to get some content. And lo and behold, this was this place in San Francisco that was actually using robots to do cleaning. So look at what's happening. And the beauty industry, my fellow colleague at work, we talk about how AI can be able to adapt and it puts itself in different industries. And one of them was that we were so fascinated on how the way barbering can be taken over in terms of robots. But there's a beauty in the beauty industry in terms of lash replacement. I wear lashes. And can you imagine if a robot was putting that down on me? Oh my. And then the emerging robotic technology, as China has done their work in how things are. So these are how we're going to be looking at it in that way. So let's go. So China built an AI human robot that cleans hotels in the room. Look at
Imagine you walk into your hotel room and it's already spotless, toilet scrubbed, towels folded, shoes lined up like a showroom. Now, imagine no one did it. No staff, no cleaning crew, just one smart silent worker on wheels. Meet Zirith H1, the humanoid hotel housekeeper straight out of the future. Hotels get messy, that's just a fact. Tired guests plus tight schedules equals chaos. And cleaning all that? It's hard, it's boring. It's usually someone else's problem, but now it's this robot's problem. And the crazy part? It handles it like a pro. Zirith Robotics, a Chinese startup founded in January 2025, teamed up with folks from places like Baidu, ByteDance, iFlyTech, and even Medea. Translation, smart people who know how to build things that actually work. They created Zirith H1, a robot built for the real mess, not just lab test, and it's not here to dance or backflip. It's here to scrub your toilet and vacuum your floor without missing a spot. This isn't just a vacuum on legs. Zirith H1 can pick up trash off the floor, restock your shampoo, clean sinks, showers, and even toilets. Organize your shoes like it has OCD and glide through rooms without bumping into anything. It's basically a hotel butler, minus the attitude. Thanks to universal wheels and smart room mapping, it moves like it owns the place. No bumping into chairs, no awkward shuffles, just smooth, quiet motion, like it's been cleaning since birth. This isn't some robots replacing jobs story. Zirith H1 isn't here to take over. It's here to handle the stuff no one wants to do, like cleaning hair from the shower drain or picking up that mystery sock under the bed. It helps the staff do more with less exhaustion. It doesn't stop at cleaning. Zirith H1 can deliver extra towels, refresh rooms when guests leave, and even restock amenities, all without knocking on your door. And it's already in mass production. Over 500 units are rolling out this year. This isn't a prototype, it's happening. Zirith H1 isn't here to entertain. It's here to work, quietly, efficiently, and without fuss. And if this is just the beginning, imagine what hotel rooms will look like in 5 years. Maybe you'll check in, leave a mess, and come back to find everything sparkling like no one will have touched a thing except a robot. Would you trust a robot to clean your hotel room? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And subscribe Technology X AI for more stories from the tech future that's already here.
See, guys, drop your comments and let me hear what's happening. Would you trust a robot to clean your hotel? Would you clean your bathroom? No, the beauty industry. I went on and I got this actual article, and I said I needed to see the video for it. Sit back, relax, and let's hear what a beauty explorer speaks on how a robot is putting out lashes on humans.
I am at Loom in Oakland, where I will be trying out eyelash extensions applied by a robot. To be honest, I am terrified when anything gets too close to my eyes. I hate the thought of even using an eyelash curler, so I'm probably the worst but best tester for this.
I first met with a lash artist who walked me through how the robot works, then prepped my lashes.
These under eye pads have bars on them to help determine how far down the robot should go when isolating the lashes. The upper eye pads also determine the distance towards the eyes and help your eyelids stay comfortably closed. The robot takes over from there, but the lash artist is there guiding you through it all.
You're going to feel light brushing on your lash line, isolating a natural lash, brushing through here. We're going to pick up an extension, dip an adhesive, and slide it right on your lash line here. Perfect.
That was it?
Yes, that was your first lash.
Oh my gosh, I didn't feel anything. Essentially, there are two robots. The first robot's job is to isolate each lash. The second robot picks extensions, dips them in glue, and puts them on the isolated lash. The extensions are cured with a blue light, which keeps them durable and helps them stay on longer.
Wow.
The robot's hands, or wands, are feather light. If you move, sneeze, or do anything that touches the wands, they'll simply fall off without hurting your eyes. It felt really light on my lashes, almost like a light breeze or putting mascara on. Yeah, I definitely could fall asleep to it. It's almost like the robotic sounds have like a therapeutic element too. The extensions last an average of 3 weeks, depending on the client's care and lash shedding cycle. The robot can apply 25 lashes on each eye in about 15 minutes. Then lash artists fill in the remaining extensions. Loom currently offers only one color and curve style, but uses different length extensions to achieve a natural light look. Once the robot is done, the lash artist double checks each lash application and spends some time customizing the look for you. I can't tell the difference between which one's my natural lashes, which one the robot did and which one you did. It looks so good. While pricing is not finalized, Loom hopes to be in the price range of a premium eyelash extension service, which averages $250 per treatment. The team is hoping the technology and speed will lower the price. It's been 3 weeks since my lash appointment, and I think I still have 1 or 2 lashes left despite me constantly forgetting and rubbing my eyes. My biggest fear going into this was that the robot wands would pierce through my eyes, but after feeling how light they are, I realized that that's practically impossible. My other big concern was whether automated services like this would eventually replace lash artists or people's jobs, but I learned that the robot is mainly there to speed up the service time and to assist the lash artist. I honestly love and prefer having a lash artist there to really guide me through everything, and she went in herself to add a lot of the lashes to really customize the look and experience.
Wow. See there, guys? Innovation at its best, right? So that's what robotics is. That's what is happening in the world now. Now listen to what is happening here. This is the part I wanted to get to.
Agibot rolled out a full new wave of humanoid robots and AI models built for actual deployment. Researchers created an artificial muscle that can reshape itself and heal after damage. Humanoid robots in Beijing just ran a half marathon faster than human world record pace, and a new robot brain called Pi 0.7 is already showing signs of handling tasks it was never specifically trained to do. This space is moving fast now, and some of these updates are honestly kind of wild. So let's start with Agibot. At their 2026 partner conference in Shanghai, Agibot introduced a full stack of new robotic systems and AI models, all built around what they call a one robotic body, three intelligences architecture. The idea here is pretty straightforward, though the execution is not. Instead of treating movement, manipulation, and interaction as separate problems, they're building a unified system where all three are tightly integrated and continuously improved through real-world data. And that matters because robotics has been stuck for years in this phase where companies could demonstrate impressive capabilities, though actually deploying robots at scale in real environments remained a completely different challenge. Agibot is clearly trying to close that gap. One of the most interesting platforms they showed is the A3 humanoid. It stands about 173 centimeters tall and weighs just 55 kilograms, built using lightweight materials like magnesium, titanium, and TPU. The power-to-weight ratio sits at 0.218 kilowatts per kilogram, which is pretty high for something designed to operate for up to 10 hours straight. It also supports a 10-second battery swap, which is a small detail, though it matters a lot in real deployments where downtime becomes a problem. What makes this robot different is not just the hardware. It's designed for coordinated multi-robot systems, using ultra-wideband positioning to synchronize up to 100 robots at once with centimeter-level accuracy. So you're not just looking at a single humanoid performing tasks, you're looking at fleets that can coordinate in real time. They also packed it with interaction features like full direction microphone arrays and tactile sensing in the shoulders, which suggests this thing is being positioned for environments like retail, education, and entertainment, where human interaction is part of the job. Then there's the G2 Air, which is a very different kind of system. This one is more focused on human-robot collaboration. It's a compact mobile manipulator with a single arm, 7 degrees of freedom, a payload of about 3 kilograms, and a reach of roughly 750 to 800 millimeters. It can move at speeds of at least 1.5 meters per second and operate in spaces under 800 millimeters wide, with 0 radius turning. That might sound like a spec sheet, though the key idea here is that it's designed to work alongside humans rather than replace them. It can perform structured tasks in retail, logistics, hospitality, and light industrial workflows, while also collecting data during operation. That's a big deal because traditionally, data collection and task execution have been separate processes. Here, they're combined into one continuous loop. So every time the robot does something, it's also learning. Then you've got the OmniHand 3 Ultra T, which is probably one of the most technically dense components in this whole lineup. This is a dexterous robotic hand with over 22 degrees of freedom, plus an additional 3 in the wrist. It uses a tendon-driven system, weighs around 500 grams, and has a load-to-weight ratio of 10:1. It also includes full-hand 3-dimensional tactile sensing and an integrated palm camera, with a response time under 0.
You get the picture. You get the picture. I don't need to even paint it any further. You get the picture. We are now surrounded by these things. And in my final thought as I wrap up, we're not in a pilot phase anymore, guys. We're not. Clearly, as you can see, and I can sit down and watch it with you for entirely, but I'll try and make sure that I place all of these video links on my YouTube channel so you can go and watch it in your own time. AI humanoid robots are actively deployed in hospitals, hotels, classrooms, and salons now. Right now, this is no longer a conversation we're having. It's about what is going to happen or what might happen. So every sector covered in today's podcast, whether it be healthcare, whether it be hospitality, whether it be education, beauty, is being reshaped by the same underlying force. Machines that can what? Sense, learn, adapt, and perform physical tasks once reserved for humans. So this is something that you have to be aware of. So, in light of what is happening, I'm going to share a thought with you. I'm trying to make sure that I can show it so you can see it, so we can see it together. Now, this is my thought to you. Robots are not coming for us, but the future belongs to those who understand them. Stay curious, stay informed, and never outsource your critical thinking, not even to an AI. Please keep that in thought. So as I wrap up today's conversation, I leave with you for our next season. So we'll take a break next week for 2 weeks, 2 session weeks. Recoup, look back on some new content, have 2 last episodes that are going to be riveting. One of them is one of my fellow colleagues at work. We sat and talked about this actual conversation. It spurred about from a conversation I had with a next colleague. And I thought about it and I said, I'm not just putting information out there, but it must be meaningful. It must be ready for purpose and impactful. So, Mr. Thorpe himself, I keep messing with his name. He is an educator. He's actually a PhD candidate now. And he will be coming to break down the aspect of the psychological effects of AI, what we need to know, what we don't know, and the mental illness that is behind the use of AI. So it's a broad topic, right? So join us on the 13th. I'll put out the next teaser with the time and everything. So we can be breaking down the mental wellness, the human behavior, and ethical future, and the digital life as it relates to how we use AI in our own space. This has been Teacher Chronicles, and this is your host, moderator, Suzette Morrison Curtis. Have yourself a wonderful evening and take care.